Hi everyone, welcome back. I have another no-bake recipe for you today. This is a no-bake pudding cake is what I call it. The main ingredients are Jell-O and graham crackers. It's very easy. This is a great recipe for summertime too when you don't want to turn on that oven. So stay tuned for the pudding cake and I hope you enjoy it.
The materials you're going to need for this recipe are graham crackers, 2 boxes of Jell-O pudding. I like to use 1 vanilla, 1 chocolate. You'll need the milk to make the pudding. And for the topping, you'll need some heavy whipping cream and a dusting of cocoa powder, which is optional. Other materials are a whisk, a rubber spatula, a bowl to make the pudding and whipped cream, and a pie pan. You also need some measuring cups. And if you want, you can go ahead and stencil decoration, which I did, and I'll show you. So the first step is to take your graham crackers and to line the bottom of your cake pan. You can also use rounds or squares, whatever you'd like. It's really adjustable here. Now it's not perfect, so you're gonna have to break the graham crackers and get it as best you can, but it will work out. It all turns into mush anyway at the end, which is part of the fun. Then you're gonna prepare your Jell-O pudding according to the directions on the side that say for pudding pie. I think they ask for a little more milk to make it thicker. And remember, using 2 boxes. So following the manufacturer's directions, go ahead and add your milk and then whisk away. This process, it's instant pudding that I use, so it's between 3 to 5 minutes when you get that nice pudding consistency. Once you have that, go ahead and spoon it onto your grahams. Using that rubber spatula, you can really clean out every inch of that bowl and not waste any pudding. Then you're just going to spread it as best you can in a nice even layer. Now I washed my bowl in between, so when I make the next layer, it's perfectly vanilla. There's no chocolate, but you don't really have to. So once your chocolate's spread, you're going to add another layer of graham crackers, kind of like a lasagna cake too, huh? And make your next flavor of pudding and repeat the process. Spread it as evenly as you can. Then you're going to let it set in the refrigerator. The earlier you make this, the better, because the longer it sits, the better it's tasting. So give yourself plenty of time to let it set up. Now at this point it is optional, but I wanted to make some heart stencils because it was actually Valentine's Day. So I just used some cookie cutters and used a Sharpie, wax paper, and cut out my stencils. I set that aside and I let some time pass because I like to make my whipping cream as close to eating time as possible. So I poured maybe about 1/3 or 1/4 of that container into my bowl. And I added sweetener. I forgot to tell you about sweetener. I just use 1 teaspoon of powdered sugar. I don't like it very sweet because the cake itself is sweet. But you could use regular sugar or vanilla, whatever sweetener you'd like. Once it's all nice and whipped up, and you can do this by hand if you'd like, give it a taste test to make sure it's not too sweet. And then taste it again because you just have to. And just like the Jell-O pudding, you're going to spread it evenly over the top. Now here's the optional part, adding the stencils. This is why I like to use Sharpie when I make my stencils because I can still see them, the black outline. So place them where you want. Take a light dusting of cocoa powder. I'm using a sifter. You don't need one. You can just use a spoon and kind of like gently pat the side of your hand. So I kind of evenly spread it all over. And once you have a nice even dusting of cocoa powder, you can begin to peel up your stencils. I use the edge of a fork to make sure I don't kind of dig my fingers into the whipped cream. And that's it. It's so simple. This cake is really good as leftovers too because the longer it sits, the better it gets. So give it a try and let me know what you think.
You guys.
Heart.
You want to taste it?
Make it.
Taste it. Dear. Is that delicious? Oh my gosh.